Hi guys, and welcome to ARW Weekly. Different intro music this week for the day that's in it. Joining me this week is Craig, Grizz, Jay, and Matt. So we're going to get straight in. We have a good bit to talk about tonight, so we're going to go straight in. First thing I want to talk about is I ran a Twitter poll there last week that literally just sent my Twitter absolutely crazy. Simple question, but over 12k votes. So we just have to talk about it here tonight. So the question is, you can only sign one player for Liverpool FC. The choice is Virgil van Dijk or Mbappe. Simple question. Who would you sign and why? So we'll go to Craig first. Who would you go for, Craig?
Virgil van Dijk every day of the week. In the long term, I think obviously Mbappe would be the smarter purchase, but for us and what we need right now, it's Virgil van Dijk for me every day of the week. He's the one player I want this summer. I didn't care what happened as long as we got Van Dijk, and if we don't get Van Dijk, then I'm going to be like a spoiled child and throw a hissy fit. So yeah, it's Van Dijk for me.
Even though you're getting possibly a player that could turn out to be one of the best players in the world?
Yeah, absolutely. It's just a matter of, I think, what we need at this moment in time. And for me, what we need is somebody to stop the goals at the other end. And Van Dijk for me.
Cool. Grizz, are you on the same boat? Are you going to go shore up the defence?
Remind me what the percentages were of your vote, because this is serious. If there wasn't at least a 65-35 VVD, then you need to go through your followers list and start blocking and shit.
Okay,
what was the results?
It was very close. We just under 12k votes. 64% win for Van Dijk, but 36.
I thought so. See ITK there, boy.
Absolutely.
ITK or he looked at the fucking vote. Like, come on.
I don't know that there isn't enough.
I'll tell you what, that was special ITK. That was. Now, basically, VVD all day. I'm gonna have to agree with. I'm gonna have to agree with Boss there. VVD all day long, mate. He's just what we need. He's ideal for us currently. Yeah. How old? He's not that old, is he? He's 25 or something. Does anybody know his age? 25.
I think it's in around that. Yeah, 25 cents.
Yeah.
Right.
So, and we know defenders, centre backs especially, can sort of play until they're like 32, 33. So yeah, Mbappe's. Don't get me wrong, Mbappe's electric. Yeah, Mbappe's the future. I mean,
he's a fraud.
Despite what.
Where's Tino when you need him?
Despite what some members of the Warcast, think he'll be playing for Peterborough in a couple of seasons, right? But we will agree that Mbappe is the real deal. But for us and going forward, Van Dijk is easily the choice I'd make, without doubt.
You know what, Jonathan? I just had a fucking vision in my head there of Barry Fry in the dressing room screaming at Mbappe.
Mbappe, yeah.
Yeah, can he do it in
What are you fucking doing? What are you fucking doing? Je ne sais quoi.
Stoke? Where is this Stoke? On a cold, wet night. Jay, are you going to be another boring Merino bastard? Are you going for a defensive option as well? Or are you going to go all out attack?
All out defensively, definitely. Van Dijk is our man that we need. We've had the issues in defense for a number of years now. Getting Van Dijk in is one that addresses the biggest, I feel, the biggest issue and the biggest problem that we've got in the team. Mbappe is a very exciting player. The question though needs to be, you need to look at it long term. Van Dijk, will he be there for the next 10 years? I'd say yes. He'd be there next 10 years, shoring up your defense. Mbappe is almost, I would see it as a sort of stepping stone for him. Great
shout.
Come in, be there for sort of 2 or 3 years. It makes sense for our owners as well. Owners come in, outlay 100 million for him now. In 2 or 3 years, they could possibly get 150 to 200 million back for him. He comes in, we develop him for 2 or 3 years, and then he's off to somewhere else in the next 3 years. So definitely for me, Van Dijk every day, yeah.
Cool, yeah. It's kind of, just touch what you just said there, kind of touches on as Matt cracks open a can. Touches on what we discussed.
Matt, is there Gav next to you there? By any chance?
Can's on my own tonight.
Yeah, Gav's at home bashing his head off the wall there in disgust. You've taken his last can. But it's funny, we kind of touched on it there Monday night on the Woolcast, just talking about the financial aspect of the game. And do we see the crazy prices going? Like, if we buy Mbappe now for 100 million, yes, it's probably going to be a stepping stone for him personally. You'd see the likes of the top two Spanish teams coming. But do you think he would get past the 100 million? Would it go two? Would it go 200-300 even? Or is the market going to go that crazy with him? Matt?
Throw that one on me.
Yeah.
I don't know. He's 18. Phenomenal player. Like, there's two answers to the original question. If it was Mbappe or Van Dijk and we had a solid team all round, it's Mbappe every day, innit?
You even have the song ready and everything there, don't you?
He's one of the 35% that fucking voted Mbappe, that's right.
No, honestly, if it's player versus player and we've got a solid team, I think you go Mbappe. But because of Liverpool and how shite our defence is and how unstable it is, it's got to be Van Dijk, hasn't it? Can he be over 100 mil? He's got the potential to, but how many other players have had that potential and just fallen down? Like, I know nothing about his personality. I know nothing about how hard he trains, his diet, how into the football he is. I don't know any of that part. So there's so much more than just his talent at 18 that will make him a £100 million player. Yeah, he can easily do it, and he should do it. And 75% probably will do it. But he's always at 25%. If you're going to be buying someone for 100 mil and you haven't really got 100 mils to throw around, you're not at Madrid or United, there's a big risk. I'd have him. I don't know how much money FSG have got, but like for an 18-year-old, I'd pay up to 70 mil for him. But above that, it's a big risk. Not just if he doesn't turn out. He might get injured. He don't know anything, and then you're fucked. It's Liverpool, isn't it?
Well, you'd maximum pay 70 million for him.
Yes, mate. I know.
Fucking tight wall.
Would you go more?
Yeah. Well, listen. If you compare it to the current market, we got to look at the market and what it is and going forward, right? So if we're looking at Pogba, 89 million, right? And who else has been gone recently? That what's his name? Aubameyang, who's apparently going to China for 60 million, and he's 28-year-old, right? So he's 28, 60 million. Surely, Mbappe, we're looking at about 80, 90 million pound easily. I think if he eventually goes.
Mate, I agree with you. He's a great player. I'm just at his age for that pressure. Because we put pressure on fucking Karius and he came for 7 million. Imagine what we're going to do with this player for that money. It's going to be unbelievable. I know, as I said, I know nothing about his personal life. I don't know if he could take the pressure. I don't know what he's like. At the moment, he's doing well. He's done it in the Champions League. He scored against Dortmund, Atletico. I can't remember everyone, but he scored against the big teams. Like, I'm not going full Tino Palmer here and saying.
I was just going to say, man,
he's going to flop and be in fucking French League 2. By the way, everyone, if you want to give him shit, that's at Tino_LFC, who thinks he's a fraud. But no, I'm not going down that route. I can see he's an unbelievable player. I just don't know if I'd fork out 100 million for him at this early age.
Craig, you want to shoot in there? Are you gonna agree with Matt? Are you gonna disagree? What's your views?
Just a couple of things there. One on Tino. He also has a fondness for Fat Sam Allardyce as well, which we have to address. But
this is true.
Going back to the Aubameyang possibly to China. So what's happening there is you're looking at 60 million for the deal, but with the new rule that's been passed in China, if you buy a foreign player, you've got to pay 100% tax on any transfer. So they're looking at paying 60 million plus 60 million in tax, therefore being 120 million for Aubameyang. We can all say, Jesus, why would you go to China and end your career? But he's going to be taking £30 million a year after tax because there's no tax. So £30 million a year in his back pocket.
And do you know what, mate? Like, people give the players like that shit. There's one way I would let a player off what he's doing with that money. If he's sending that money, like, he's French born, but his family are from
Gabon, I think.
Gabon.
Yeah.
If he's sending loads of that money there, building schools, like helping them out, all that, loads of charity work, even just throughout Africa, charity work, I have absolutely no qualms with him going and fucking making it. You don't know, do you? He might be throwing it in the bank for Lamborghinis, like, but if he is doing that and that's what it's for, then See you later, mate. Enjoy yourself.
Another thing, though, another reason is, as you kind of touched on there, some people come from an extremely poor background. And as you said, they might be supporting an awful lot of people. And footballers that do come from this, and I'm not talking about like an English working class background. I'm talking about real poverty here, like can't afford boots, kicking the ball in your bare feet. And they come into this money, and some of them are just so scared that their families and them will end up back in that poverty, that money can be a big driver for them. And I think we have to understand that sometimes with players.
Yeah, absolutely. Like if it's any other work environment and you get an offer that's going to treble your wages, quadruple your wages, even, you're gone. You're gone. Let's be honest. Any of us in a workplace environment, you get that offer, you're gone. It's hard to squash anyone.
Yeah. I see what people saying. There is a certain threshold, like for a player earning 5 million a year and 7 million a year, or 5 and 10. Like once you earn above $1 million a year, like you're okay. Well, you're doing all right. You can support your family and that. So I see where people are coming from with the China stuff. But if they are putting 90% of that money back into their communities or charity or anything, then it's all right. Also, throwing in as well, if we were a Chinese and we had 100 million, I'd throw it on Mbappe right now. I'm just saying, because Liverpool and the finances.
FSG, they're never playing double for a player with the tax included, are they?
No, so they'd be in negotiations with the tax man for about 6 months.
Yeah,
we'll monitor the tax man.
Yeah, monitor the shit out of that tax firm. Okay.
Grizz, what's it like to be one of the 1%? Like, what's it like to be that rich, Grizz?
It's not bad, you know. It's not bad.
You're just never out of your car, though, are you?
You know, one headphone mashes up, you go and buy a quick another one within 5 minutes, as you lot found out. You know, it's okay. You know, it's not too bad. I'll let you know. I'll let you guys know.
Naan bread's the size of a double duvet and everything, Grizz.
Absolutely, mate.
For a cushion. Okay,
this IT game pays well, man.
I'm sure it is. I wouldn't know. Leading on from FSG there, we kind of touched them briefly. Just regarding transfers, we've two signings confirmed now, Solanke and Salah. How many more transfers do you guys see coming in the door this summer? Jay, how many do you see? Many more additions coming in?
Well, we'd all hope that we're going to get a left back, a centre back, your centre midfield. I think those, at least we need at least 3 to basically, if we want to be challenging next year, get a repeat of this year's performance and improve on this year's performance. I think we'll need at least 3. If we go into this year starting with Lovren at left centre back and Milner at left back, I'll be pulling my hair out again. So you want to have those 3. I think if we can get those 3 in, we're looking at a decent summer. Obviously, it depends on the players that come in. The other one that we'll be thinking about, I think we spoke about it briefly now, Mbappe. He's almost a luxury signing here, but do we look at getting another striker in? I don't know. It's like if we get those three targets in, if you get another striker in, say another Daniel Sturridge in, I think it could be the difference between us seriously challenging and maybe being like contenders in the top 4. That's my view of it at the moment.
Yeah, I think the 3 positions that you mentioned there, Jay, the left back, centre mid, and centre midfielder. I think every Liverpool fan kind of pretty much agrees that we need to sign players in each of those positions. Yeah. Matt's just had a little celebration there. He's obviously had a good lump of all that Robin Hood money on Chile there to win the penalty shootout.
I just hate Ronaldo.
Fair enough. That's totally understood. But just go back to Jay there. Do you really think we will go on the striker? Is that front 3 not set in stone almost with Bobby as the false 9? Do you see Sturridge staying?
Yeah, I think Sturridge stays. As I said, it's another striker is not essential, but you get that if you get another 20 goal a season striker in there, you're almost certain to be a title challenger. Somebody that's getting you the 20 goals. Your Lacazette, Aubameyang is obviously going to going to China. It's again, it's a luxury signing. I think the way that we've signed in terms of Salah and we've got Mane, the way that we'll be playing, you're looking at obviously Bobby taking it's not a false nine, but can we still call it a false nine if he's going to be wearing the number 9 jersey?
Nah, he's always the false nine in my mind.
Yeah, so you still got, I think Bobby's still there, but just alternatives. It's just purely a luxury signing, I'd say.
Cool. So we're going to go next to the guy that's going to tell us exactly who we're signing. Grizz, mate.
No. We don't do that on pods. We talk serious on pods. Basically, look, we've got 2 in, yeah. So we've got Solanke in, who, everyone's got sort of split opinions on him. I think I've made my opinions, quite loud on him. I've said it quite loud and clear that I don't think he's going to get much game time, in my opinion, especially if Sturridge stays. I mean, we haven't heard anything to say that he's leaving. I mean, the club have said he's not for sale. There are rumours that his people are actually looking for clubs. But if Sturridge stays, then I agree with Jay that I don't think Klopp is going to sort of actively look for another striker. I think he may want to have a look at Danny Ings in pre-season to see if he becomes an option this season as well. Difficult to see Danny Ings getting much run of games. I mean, he's going to want games, so possibly a solo loan there. But in the other position, it's quite evident, isn't it? We know if you've done one of your amazing polls again, we know that there is no doubt that people would say that left back, centre back position is the most vital that we improve on. Now, how much we improve on that, on the players that are already there, that's the crucial thing, in my opinion. Everyone's we're just sort of focused on one player for that centre back role, haven't we? But in my personal opinion, yes, of course, Virgil van Dijk is the ultimate centre back for us currently. But as long as we improve that by at least as long as we improve our defence as a whole by 20-30%, then I'd be happy personally. The central midfield's a tricky one. I don't know if you was going to discuss, but again, that Hendo scenario, isn't it? It's in the back of our head. Is Hendo fit? What is his injury like? Is it cleared up? If Hendo's fit and Emre's going to sign that contract when he gets back, that's Emre and Hendo vying for like one place. Then you've got like sort of options there. Then you've got the Gini and Lallana. I'd say with the 2 signings that we've got, minimum we need is 3. Ideally, we'd like another 5 signings.
Ooh.
I think 3. Another 3 first teamers. Like, we're talking, walk into that team, like, get out of my way type players, right? Not this, are they going to be fighting for XYZ spot? No, they're going to walk straight into the team. We're talking 3 first teamers, and I'd say another 2 squad fillers. I'm not necessarily saying Oxlade-Chamberlain's, but sort of, you know what I mean? That sort of type where, a multi-purpose player can fill in few roles, auxiliary player, something like that. So I'd say between 3 and 5.
Cool. Yeah. Matt, you seen a lot coming in the door?
I've got a question for Grizz first. How do you improve a back 4 by 30%?
I can't reveal my stats.
It's either 25 or 50, mate.
Why can't you improve by 30%?
Make it a back 5.2.
Well, you improve 2 people, then you make it a back 4 and back 5.
What did I say?
Nah, I'm only minding you on, mate. I'm going to leave you
my calculator.
Yeah, I agree with Grizz. Actually, I see 5 coming in. I reckon the priority is the 3 everyone was talking about: centre back, centre mid, and then left back in that order. I'd prefer a left back, a centre back, left back, centre mid, but I do understand we do need a centre mid, and then we'll have a couple more out the sky ones, like a Matip that we don't even know about, or a Slank here that just comes from nowhere and we just sign up. They'll be either on a free or quite cheap, like a Matip, or they'll be young, 18-year-olds. But I think anything we get, striker-wise, winger-wise, anything like that, would just be a bonus on top of what we definitely need. Like, I think we're going for them 3 key positions. If we get the others, then it's a bonus. And I think that's how they've probably laid it out as well. And we always look at it. We've done the same last season. We looked at our squad and thought, it's quite strong, this. It's quite strong. 2 injuries in one position, and we're back to where we are. We're fucked again. And we saw it last season in the end of December, January, Feb. And it just screws us. As strong as it looks at the beginning, there's always players that are niggling or out of form, and then a couple of 1-month injuries, 2-week injuries like that. Like if Bobby's out, what are you doing? You're relying on Studge. And we know, like I absolutely love Studge, but you can't be relied upon. So if we do get one of them bonus ones, then yeah, great. If not, just make sure we get them 3.
Yeah, 18-year-olds can be quite expensive as well.
Yeah,
when you're paying 100 million for them, yeah, okay, now. I'm thinking about he's snapping up something from a youth product that no one even knows about, except for Grizz, obviously. But none of us, mere humans, have heard about.
Different league. Craig, mate, you agree with the rest? You see you 3 to 5 coming in?
Honestly, just guesswork. But what I think come in and what I'd like to come in is probably a little bit different. With the guys there, I think a left back, yeah, definitely. But I'd like to see another multi-purpose full-back as well that can cover both sides. It doesn't have to be that expensive, just somebody to give a bit of competition, because this is going to sound really harsh, but for me, if Milner's got to be replaced at left back this season, then he doesn't have a spot anywhere in the team for me, ever.
Yeah.
So I'd rather see a proper left back brought in and then somebody to challenge or cover for Kleiny and whoever the new left back is. Y'all know my opinion on Mignolet. I want a new keeper. I want somebody to go in there with Karius and challenge, but it's not going to happen. Like, Mignolet is going to be there next season, but that's what I'd like. I can't really add to what the guys have said. It's all spot on. It's all what we expect. I do think, and I've said it on a couple of pods, I think there's money there for three main players. So whether that be a centre back, a left back, a striker, or a winger. So say for instance we go Salah, Keita, Van Dijk, just as a matter of guesswork. I think there's money there for them, and then anything else might have to be funded by sales or see how much we can get in for other players. But that's, again, not based on anything other than guesswork.
Net spend.
You can hear the
but
FSG
Grizz,
boys.
if your net spend is like 150 million there before you start selling players to buy more players, that's not going to be a bad summer, to be fair, to FSG.
Sure, you can just hear them sharpen their chisels there at the moment.
I can just hear the
FSG boys
behind Craig, yeah.
I suppose kind of leading on then, we've all discussed, I think we're all pretty all agree that we would like to see a new left back added into the squad. I don't think anybody last season would have thought that Millie would have spent 90% of the time playing there. Don't think anybody saw that coming. And you'd look at there has to be a new left back coming in, and then you look at Henderson's injury, that mystery heel injury that seems to go on and on and on. So bear in mind they were our skipper and vice captain last season. Who is the on-field captain next season, Craig? Who do you see getting the armband?
It's a tough one, isn't it? Again, going back to Milner, I'd like to see him stripped of the vice captaincy because I don't see him in a starting 11. So if he's out,
thank God you carried on. I thought you said, I just want to see Milner stripped. Thank God you carried on. Fuck's sake, Craig.
We'll edit that one out later.
Do you know what I mean? I just want to see Milner stripped.
Okay, you just said there I want to see Milner stripped, so that's definitely a soundbite that I'm using in the future for something, Grizz. It's a tough one, isn't it? There's a couple of good options, as I'm sure Matt's going to say. There's a shout for Emre Can, there's a shout for Adam Lallana, there's a shout for Van Dijk if he comes in as centre back. It really is a tough one. To me, there's nobody there that screams leader, that says I am going to be captain. It's really is a tough one. I wouldn't be giving it to a Firmino or Coutinho or anybody like that. So yeah, it's a tough one. I think it would be an incoming player for me or Lallana. they'd be my two shouts.
It's just as we were just talking there, it just got a flashback to the Southampton game at the end of the season there. I know you were quite vocal at the time, Craig, at the Miller penalty and Foster being Johnny Big Bollocks, and nobody there on the team to pretty much tell him to fuck off back in his line. That's where you want your Van Dijks, really, isn't it? However, just being in their face, your Roy Keane in his day, or Vieira, etc.
That's where you want somebody like even like a Diego Costa or a Carragher, somebody would have like that. That still riles me to this day that Forster was allowed to stand over Milner like that, and the referee hadn't got the balls to send them off or book him, and none of our lads were up in his face. And he was literally kicking up the penalty spot, like right in front of the referee and Milner, kicking the penalty spot.
Had the shovel out and everything. Yeah,
somebody should have ran up behind him and just pulled down his shorts.
Well, Grizz is going to strip him there, so it'll be okay for next season. Yeah, but like the usual one gets banded around, don't they? Coutinho, captain Brazil there, Lallana, I think, did he captain England for a while as well? But they're both kind of players that kind of show their example by their football skills, not by their leadership qualities. For me, I'm old school. I like someone to shout and roar, to be a captain, and tell someone to fuck off or whatever. It's actually one of the things Henderson does well. He's quite vocal. You remember the stares at Costa, etc. So for me personally, if we get Van Dijk, he would be my captain.
I'd like to add though, Jonathan, if Henderson proved his fitness, then it's Henderson all day long for me. Like I've no qualms about Henderson being captain if he's fit. I'm happy as Larry with Henderson being captain. Yeah,
I'd agree with that. I don't see why you would strip him of it. Maybe Van Dijk to fill in when he's injured. Grizz, apart from stripping the opposition goalie, who would you like to see as your on-field captain next season?
Yeah, again, dependent again on Hendo, man. If Hendo is going to play, how much did he play this season? Someone with the stats, like he missed quite a bit of the season, didn't he? I mean, if he has a similar... Go on, Jay, what was it?
I think we had about 48 games, and he played in 23 of the 48. So you're looking at like 25 that he missed. It was almost close to 50% that he wasn't available for.
Yeah, see, if there's a similar scenario like that, it's a tough one. I mean, I don't think Klopp will make any new signing a captain. I just don't think Klopp's someone to do that. I don't know how the rest of the team was.
He gave Milner the vice captain's armband straight away.
Milner was already there, wasn't he? When Klopp
he'd been there season.
Sorry? Yeah,
Rodgers signed him.
Yeah, Milner was there, Craig. So I don't think he'd give a newcomer straight away the captaincy. Again, it depends. I think it's unanimous. We don't want Milner left back, but if Milner does, I hate to say it, but if he does, and there is, we don't know at this stage, he is our left back at this stage, right? Because there's no one come in. So at this stage, I think Milner would keep it. This is what I think would happen. If it was me, I think if Hendo couldn't sort of prove his fitness, as Craig says, then there's a very, very strong shout for, it's close. I mean, Coutinho, I wouldn't like to burden him with the captaincy of Liverpool at this stage. I mean, at the moment, our kind of a whole team sort of attacking threat impetus lies with him, and I think that's more than enough responsibility for him. Emre's the standout, but again, Emre needs to sort of confirm and sort of cement his place again in the team as a starter, even when everyone's fit, which, it's split. Some people say, does he start when everyone's fit? It's a great question, actually. I mean, I haven't got an answer for you. It would just be guessing. Do you know what I mean? I'd go with Emre, fresh start. Balls out, the type of leader we need going forward. He signs that 5-year contract. What a boost that will be for him, for the fans, for his club. I'd say I'd go with Emre.
Okay. Well, Matt, it's really pointless asking you the question. I suppose I'll rephrase it. Would the captaincy burden or improve Emre in his Liverpool career?
I'd actually go for a proper winner, someone like Simon Mignolet or
Moreno.
So what you're saying in a roundabout way here is Lucas. That's what I'm hearing.
That's what I was getting to, and I'm surprised you didn't say it, mate. Now, do you know what? The only way we have to give it to Coutinho, I mean, Coutinho's a shout because he has captained Brazil lately, and he's one of them leads by example players. But the only way he gets it is if he turns into a cunt over the summer, and I don't think he's going to do that. He's too nice a guy. So, I mean, you all know I fucking love Emery anyway. I've liked him since he was shouting at Gerrard in his first ever pre-season to run to the ball. Gerrard's standing there with fucking 79-year-old legs and he can't do anything. But ever since then, I thought he's gonna turn into the captain. Will it burden him? No, I don't think it was. I think he's that type of player. I mean, you talk about that German mentality, and I don't know how true it is, but he seems to be like nothing really knocks his confidence. We talk about him not playing last season, but it did come out that he had a knock, so I'm going to give him that excuse. I think it narrows down to him as well. You look at everyone else, you go through the team. Firmino, no. Another one by example. Coutinho, no. Mane, no. Salah, too soon. Don't know what he's like on the pitch. And again, apparently he's just a really nice guy. Genie, no. Just smiles at everyone. And you get down to it, and the only one left is, if Hendo is not fit, is Emre Can. I mean, we can't really look elsewhere unless we make a Van Dijk signing, and then you have to look at him as well. But for the time being, there's only Emery left on the table, really.
There is, yeah. I know we laugh and joke about your love for Emery there, but personally, I think out of the current players, he would be a good shout. He's that kind of Johnny Big Balls approach to him. He's that swagger, that little bit of arrogance on the ball. Like you look back when Stevie got the captaincy role, albeit he was a bit younger, but it really made him as a player, as an all-round character. I think you could see Can, the whole happy mood of signing the 5-year deal and just bombing on, and just, God, he'd have the hair even more shiny than normal.
Yeah, just picking up on what you said there as well. I think he came into his own when he wasn't next to Hendo. I mean, Hendo was the big boy, and Can was kind of there as his little midfield sidekick. When he had to run that midfield is when you saw the best of him. I mean, I am speculating massively there. He could play just as well alongside Hendo, but his best performances came when he was the main man in that centre midfield.
True indeed, yeah. Jay, what's your shout on this?
If we were able to land Van Dijk, I think he might be first choice. Klopp's choice as captain. I think it could be where Van Dijk is such a big signing that, and Klopp does want him and trust him that much that he does hand him the captaincy, that he does hand him the club captaincy from the word go. I know it's not something that's always done when a new player comes in and he's given the club captaincy, but my first shout would be Van Dijk. Based on the current players that we have available, I'd go with Emre Can. Some players just get better when they're given responsibility. Steven Gerrard, as soon as he got the captaincy, he became a different player. And it was the other way with Sami Hyypiä. When Sami Hyypiä, you could see the captaincy was a burden for him. And he became a better player, or got back to playing as good as he was as soon as he was relieved of the captaincy. Some players sort of just get better when they're given responsibility and they're asked to lead the team. And I think Emre Can is one of those players that we have in our team that wants to be there. If you look, he's basically like an unofficial captain on the field. He's always around, backing his mates up, backing his players up. The one issue is he going to be playing consistently, because you want your captain to be playing, starting every single game. I think by default last season, Milner was the captain. He started every single game. He was our captain when Hendo's not available. So it's difficult because there's a lot of factors to look into in terms of the availability of the player from injuries. Is he going to be starting every game because of his ability on the field, or is he then just going to be starting because he's the captain and we need to find a space for him? I think that's the last thing we're going to do right now, is make somebody the captain and then have to find a space for them because they are the captain. My first shout would be Virgil van Dijk if we sign him, but from current squad, I'd go with Emre.
Cool. It's a great shout, that, about making space for him. I mean, we don't know Klopp's thoughts, but who is his starting centre mid? and works for Emery as well. If it's not Emery or it's not
if Hendo's fit, it's Hendo. If Hendo's fit, yeah. If Hendo's fit, it's Hendo.
I still can't believe Milner's been there that long. My mind's blown. Like, I just can't believe.
Matt.
I just blank him out so much that I can't believe how long he's been there.
No, Matt. I know. Look, I'm agreeing with you. Emery's the better player in mine and your opinions, but
not in mine.
I think. Okay, fair enough. No problem. No, I'm saying mine.
Yeah, but you like Lucas, so it doesn't matter.
Henderson, right now, both on peak form, peak fitness. Right now, both of them at the top of the game. I think Henderson's a better player, but I think Emre Can has a higher ceiling than Henderson.
Yeah, it's a fair point. No, I know what you mean, Grizz. But
I'm just thinking.
Whenever Emre's been fully fit, like he did come out. Klopp did come out and say he was carrying that injury. Whenever he's been fully fit, I think he started. I mean, it's hard to determine because you don't know the back of house stuff.
It's. When have we seen Hendo fully fit on the subs bench? Someone tell me.
Yeah, no, he's sat in a 2 with Emery, I think. But we haven't really had the sense. We've only had fucking Lucas on the bench to come in.
What do you mean only?
Change.
What do you mean only had Lucas? We've been lucky to have Lucas on the bench.
From what we know so far of Klopp, not Klopp's thinking, because we don't know Klopp's thinking, but from what he's sort of the teams he's selected and from what he's done with the team and how he set it up, and with Hendo, I mean, he could have easily started Emery or Lucas in that number 6 role, or bought a central midfielder to play that role last season, right? He'd have to do it. And the fact that he trusted and, he had confidence in Hendo to play that role, which was alien to him, and he came out and he praised him quite a bit.
But didn't Emery start there and get injured, and Hendo filled in and done really well? Like, no, I don't want people to think I don't like Hendo. I really do. I love Hendo.
No, exactly. We're not about
them
listen,
on this pod. We're two's a great midfield.
Exactly. Yeah. On this pod, we're all about loving every player that puts in a red shirt. It's not you have to.
I'm not. Mignolet's a cunt.
Like another. Yeah, but even you come round to him the last few pods of the season.
I've come round to him. Yeah.
You couldn't stop blushing every time you was talking about him. So shut up, Greg. You was probably blushing when you was talking about Mignolet.
No. There's a difference. There's a difference between saying Mignolet hasn't fucked up and saying that Mignolet is a fantastic keeper. All I said is he didn't make any mistakes and he's done well.
He done well. He done well in the whole season, But everyone's still just sitting there waiting for that next mistake, which is his downfall at the moment. But just back onto the Hendo thing, I'll do a bit of research and I'll have a look. But I'm pretty sure every time Chan has been fit, he's played.
I think this is something that it was going to run and run. I think we'll talk about it maybe next week.
Can I just make one quick point on this? It's really funny that we're sitting here arguing about the central midfield role, but yet we're still expecting somebody to come in, and we're already arguing over the positions that we have. That was my point exactly. I think it's
great options,
for another day. When something we'll talk at more length. Then we'll do some proper research and we will get talking for a bit longer on the next pod maybe. But I have to go to Craig with this next subject I want to talk about because I know it's a delicate subject close to his heart. We're going to talk about some players that we're probably going to leave the club in the summer, and it looks like one of those is going to be Craig's idol. He's king in his life, the apple in his heart, whatever way to describe him. So I think it's only right that we let Craig have a moment here.
You're talking about Lucas, clearly, yeah?
We are indeed, yes.
Look, there's no place for Lucas in the side next year. Like, let's call a spade a spade. We know why I respect Lucas, and I don't think he's a fantastic player. It's other issues. It's to do with his determination, his professionalism, all that stuff. But yeah, look, he's got to go without a shadow of a doubt. And for me, what's always been most important about that is that he gets to make that decision where and when he goes. And if he goes back to Gremio, brilliant. If he goes up to Newcastle and plays with Rafa, brilliant. Wish him all the best. Other players going out, you've got the obvious ones. Markovic should be going. Flanagan, for me, should go. A couple of the youngsters will probably be moved on. Moreno, gone. Then you get to the interesting ones like the Sturridge or the Ings or the Origi. And for me, if I was to move on one of those three, personally, I'd move on Origi. Because, yeah, it's tough. I think he'd develop better elsewhere, if that makes any sense.
But he's probably the only guy with pace who could cover Salah or Mane.
Yeah,
we lose a lot of pace with him gone.
Yeah, that's a good shout, but I'd rather bring somebody else in because
fair enough.
I just think he'll develop better elsewhere. I think he does have all the tools needed, but I just don't see him making that development at Liverpool.
Anything to be said for a loan deal for him?
You know, Klopp and loan deals, he's not
True.
too fond of them, which I thought maybe we're underestimating Klopp. Maybe he would do a loan deal, but I don't know. I think he's never really made that jump. He's shown glimpses of what he can do, but I'm a huge fan of Danny Ings as well. I think he's gonna, if he proves his fitness, I think he's gonna really suit Klopp. Klopp's gonna like him. He's gonna like his attitude. He's gonna like his hustle. But again, probably third, fourth choice striker still.
He's the ultimate Klopp striker in my mind. Ings just been very unlucky with injuries. I'm going to push the boat out a bit here, but I'd nearly say if Ings can prove his fitness and return to the match sharpness that he had before his last knee injury, he could be a more used option than Origi next season.
Yeah, that's a good show. There was something around, was it today in the paper, lads, where Gomez was linked with a loan move away from the club?
I think he's going Brighton.
What do we make on that one if it happens?
It said Bournemouth, but I think he's going Brighton. I don't know too much about how Brighton can play really, so I can't comment. I mean, I like loans out as long as they're played regularly. It's a good standard, and you can keep your eye on them, which Brighton is. It's in the Premiership. He's only down the road really in a great scheme of things. So yeah, I'm all for them. Just touching on your forward thing there, I think we're settled on a front three now at Liverpool, aren't we? So how many players do you think need to cover that? I would say 6. So
at least 2 in every position.
If we loan out or get rid of Origi, then we'll have to bring someone in, don't we? I mean, would I be happy with what we've got? Yeah, it's a tough one. I mean, it's a big step down, Mane or Salah to Origi, isn't it? I think in the last minute you've won me round with getting rid of him and getting someone else in, really. But Ingsy can be like a new Derek Hoyt, that little energy on the forward line that you need out wide.
Look at Firmino. He could be a similar type of annoying, in your face, hustling false line.
I like him.
Yeah.
He will add goals as well from that position.
He's a decent finisher.
There's no doubt about that. I mean, Coy, when he played up front, was good, but that season he got pushed out forward right was when he really came into his own. So I'll be happy with him out there. Going out, don't forget we've got Adam fucking Bogdan as well.
Well, he's just Ed Sheeran announced a summer tour next year around Europe. I think Bogdan is going to tag along with him and cover for any.
He's doing a stunt.
For any nights that Eddie has a sore throat or whatever, they're just going to send him out there and put him on his flip machine or whatever. Jay, who do you see going out the door? Anyone else? Do you think going out than the guys I've mentioned?
Yeah, obviously it's a normal names in terms of selling. Markovic as well to the list. The interesting question would be how much do we think we can recoup for those players going out? FSG have become quite good at selling recently in terms of getting top dollar for players leaving. So obviously that would help in terms of getting players in. The fact would be how much would we get in for them. I completely agree with Flanagan. I saw shouts yesterday that he could be the defensive cover on either side, the utility. I think he needs to be going out. Kevin Stewart also. Just not
Jay,
good enough.
Well, you're going through these actually for the crack. Just give us what you think each player is worth when they're going out.
Okay, let's look at. Let's start with Sacco. Sacco, I'd say
40 million.
I'd say we get 25 to 30 for him.
Yeah, I think we'll be lucky. But yeah, if we can get 25, 20, you're happy days.
You'd grab that, wouldn't you?
Yeah.
Moreno, between 10 to say 12 million.
What did they say we're holding out for him?
Grizz?
What's the report?
Grizz?
15.
15, okay. Markovic, 15.
Yeah, that sounds reasonable.
Yeah, it's good shout.
We're going to be on a zero net spend in no time, aren't we?
Don't mention the war map, for fuck's sake.
It's going to be fucking boss.
I don't think. Sorry, go on. Finish, Jay. Sorry.
Yeah. I got Flanagan. I got Kevin Stewart. I think both of them you're looking at under 10 million.
12s. Okay, yeah. 12s, I say. But yeah. Now listen. At the end of the day, with all our extra games, right? We have to take that into consideration. I know we're trying to sort of see how much we can raise.
Yeah.
Let's work our way from the most expensive. What's our most sellable asset at the moment?
Sacco.
We think that's sort of
Sacco, yeah.
right? So Crystal Palace have bid, around the 18 million mark for him. Okay, and we've refused that flat out. Right. So we're looking at around 25 million, right? From what I know or what I think. So Sacco's probably going to fetch us, and he will get that in the end. Right, Moreno, the highest bid we received is something like 12 million, 15 million. So, Matt, are you adding these up?
We're certainly not leaving this to you, for fuck's sake.
Do you know, I was gonna say, yeah, help a brother here, yeah. So we're looking at 25 for Sacco. We're looking at 15 for Moreno. We're looking at Stewart as being subject of a 4 million bid.
Surely we get a bit more from him than that.
We're looking for about 6 million from Stewart, right? I reckon we'll settle. Markovic, we're looking for 15. Watford have bid 11, right? So we're nearly there with Markovic.
Right.
Gomez is a tricky one, guys. I know if we go around individually here, we may be split on Gomez. I think you guys know, I've said it before. I think Gomez. I don't think Klopp's a fan, and I didn't expect Gomez to be at the start of the season. I still stick by that.
I heard in January that Klopp was a big fan back then. Now, I don't know if he hasn't come on enough, but in January he was definitely working with him to move.
Yeah, no worries. That's fair enough. Yeah, I don't think he rates him, and I think he'll be gone. Look, Lucas has been given permission, so we know he's going. He's been given permission, like to speak to Newcastle. Have been given permission, and
give him 4 million.
As Craig says, well, I can't see much of a fee for Lucas.
Yeah, I can see him going for nothing. To be fair.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, so where are we at so far, finance-wise, guys?
We've got about 65.
65. Yeah. Who we got left? We got
Bogdan.
Oh, Moreno. Did we say Moreno?
Yeah, Moreno's covered.
We said Moreno.
Flano.
And so
Flano.
Sorry? Yeah, Flano. Look, come on, guys.
5.
8.
Couple of million, whatever.
5 at a push.
No, not even 5, Matt. Not even 5. Yeah.
And he's a Premier League proven fullback, so yeah, he's
English international.
So we're looking at, I reckon, around 70 mil.
Yeah.
Give or take 5-10 mil. We're looking to get recouped 70 mil, and that's fairly easily. That's without sort of having to sell the likes of a Sturridge, who we don't ideally want to sell if he can prove his fitness. So 70 mil in sales, right? And we're looking at. We said we're looking at another 3. Let's just say that 70 mil for argument's sake, hypothetically, yeah? Let's just say that 70 mil is for Virgil van Dijk, right? And that gives us that centre-back. That leaves us with another 2 or 3 players that sort of we're looking to spend out of our own money. I think it's all possible. I think we've got a lot of sellable assets there. This is without your Origis, as we said, Sturridges. Ideally, we want to keep them around. I mean, Ings, I know a lot of sort of the social media and Twitter will be saying, oh, Ings, he's not, he's nowhere near in Klopp's plans. Well, I'm telling you, he is, because there's been like 12 teams that have made sort of inquiries about him and they've been flatly refused. Sort of, we're not interested in selling Ings. And that's quite something, considering, inquiries for Gomez or others have said, yep, you can talk to him. So that just shows where sort of Klopp's in charge of this. You've got to remember, Klopp has the final say. So, Ings could be. That's a great shout by, I think, Matt, you said it, about sort of your kite type, your Dirk Kuyt type, sort of just gives you energy, he can play on either wing, he can play through the middle. He'll work his bollocks off for you. Yes, not the most talented, but, you need a mixture of sort of, in a team, you need a mixture of type of players. So Ings could be, if he could prove his fitness. Sturridge, Ings, Origi, they could be our backup 3.
Yeah.
You got to remember, I missed out anyone who could be our backup sort of strikers. You're right. It's not.
Dan Woodburn.
Yeah,
Ben Woodburn.
I mean, Ben Woodburn. I mean, look, for example, if we had a subs bench that had Sturridge, Sturridge, Origi, and Ings on it, and maybe a Hendo and a Lallana. Maybe maybe not Lallana, but suddenly the squad's not looking as tacky as it did last season. So
yeah, it's good. But yeah, I mean, I think if he gets rid of like Kevin Stewart, then he brings in someone young to replace him, like when Kevin Stewart came in.
Well, you have Gruitch there to come, don't you?
Yeah, there you go. Like yeah, no one mentioned Gruitch.
Yeah. You get people coming at like 18, not quite making it, and leaving about 24, and it's just that big cycle. And every so often you get a good one that goes into first team. So any of them that do go, like if Kent was to go or Jari, I know that they're quite good, but if Kevin Stewart, he hasn't made it. He's quite old now. I think he gets replaced with youth, maybe even just from Melwood without going outside. Someone we haven't looked at yet.
That's how we feel them. You want to shoot in there, mate?
There's two things. One that we haven't spoke about that I'll come back to in a second. But what I actually like, I like what Chelsea do. It's a bit of a fuck you the way they go around buying up players, but they buy up players, they loan them out, and they're getting good fees back for these players against what they've paid for them. And whatever you think of it, as a business model, it seems to be a damn good way of doing business. They're just hoovering up players, sending them out on loan to Dutch leagues and whatever. They're doing okay out there. They're coming back and they're doubling, trebling their money on them. So for me, that you got to give Chelsea props on that. But the player or the position, I think we spoke about who's coming in and out, but we've kind of bypassed what happens with Danny Ward. And for me, that's really, really interesting because I don't see him being any worse than what's there. So I think he has to be given a chance in pre-season at least to prove the Klopp that he deserves to be the second keeper, if nothing else.
Big kick.
Do you think Klopp's mate gives him a call off and gets him back for the season?
Well, I don't know. We're only allowed to loan one player to a club, aren't we, to Huddersfield? And wasn't there talk of somebody else gone to Huddersfield?
Well, there was talk of Danny Ings, but we've refused
it wasn't Ings. That's not who I'm thinking of anyway. There was talk of another one of our players gone. I don't know if it was one of our younger guys. Yeah. Not Ben Woodburn or Ajaria maybe. There was talk of somebody, or Ojo. Somebody was linked with Huddersfield anyway. But
what would you do with him, Craig? Would you keep the three keepers? Would you send Ward back on loan for next season?
It's a tough one because I do rate Danny Ward, if I'm being honest. He's a solid, good keeper. I wouldn't like him, I don't think, as our first choice keeper, but it's a tough call because I don't think there's much between them three keepers, if I'm being honest. Karius has a lot to prove in the Premier League. I'm not going to lie about it. I think he has the tools to do it, but he's got an awful lot to prove. It's a very, very tough call. I think it's one that they deserve to be all looked at in pre-season before Klopp makes any decision.
Yeah, good shout. Jay, you were trying to get in there. What would you do? Would you send Ward back on loan to Huddersfield, or would you keep him at the Liverpool setup next season?
Yeah, it's the rule of only being able to send one player out on loan makes it difficult. A player I'd like to see sent out on loan and get Premiership experience would be Marco Gruitch. We've briefly discussed about the centre midfield options that we've got, and that's without signing Keita or a central midfielder. Where does it leave Gruitch? And I think if we give him a chance out on loan, maybe at somewhere like Huddersfield, to Klopp's mate, and he's basically their main centre midfielder. It could really, really be a huge stepping stone for him. So it's that option there that in terms of the goalkeepers, I think based purely on the 6 months that Mignolet's had coming into sort of closing the season, he's guaranteed that he starts as the number one. It's basically between Ward and Karius to fight for and see who's going to take the second place. I somehow have a feeling that the first two will be Mignolet and Karius, and Ward might be sent out on loan. I don't know if it's to Huddersfield again, but yeah, I think the loan did him was excellent for him last year. Would be nice now if he can get a season at a Premier League club.
Yeah, no, totally agree with you there, Jay, mate. I think it can only be good for both the player and for us if we see Ward to get a year's first team experience in the Premiership.
How old is Ward now?
Same age as Karius.
Yeah, they're on the exact same age.
Yeah, so maybe it won't happen. This won't happen. And how old is Mignolet?
28, is he? I'm
not
just
sure.
taking a guess here now.
Hey Craig, your guesses are quite good, as we know from the quiz. Your guesses turn out to be actual correct.
Ouch, it burns.
Exactly. And anyway, but listen, the one way of looking at it would be who's. I mean, we all agree that we're not going to keep 3 keepers.
Yeah.
I don't think that doesn't make sense. I don't think to have 3. I'd say quality of the same quality keepers. Yeah, you're right. Maybe Mignolet is the first choice at the moment.
Yeah.
It clearly is.
Whereas Mignolet is 29. He's going to be 30 next year in March.
Okay. So in that case, do we see? I mean, who would command the best fee out of those 3 keepers for us? That's a question.
Karius, yeah. I would go
Karius.
Karius.
Karius would get the highest fee?
Yeah, because there's more aspects to his game.
So if we rate Danny Ward, if Klopp rates Danny Ward that highly, then that would be one hypothetical, sort of scenario where he sells Karius. But I don't think he does. Matt's just suddenly put, I don't know, is it gay porn on?
No, it's a Nivea
It still distracted me.
It's just Miller, don't worry.
Oh, it's just a Nivea ad. Okay. Matt, you can't do that to me when I'm in the middle of my pod, right? Talking serious.
Sorry, mate. Carry on.
Right. You do that in your own private time, right? Anyway, so, I mean, look, realistically, Danny Ward does go, but I think the question arises, does he go out on loan? Or does he sell him and try to get let's try to get 7-8 million for him, which I think we can.
It makes no sense. It makes no sense. You have to send him out on loan, get him Premier League experience for a year, and then his price doubles.
Well,
I agree.
Does Danny Wood want to go out on loan again?
He seems settled. He seems all right.
Does he ever say it? Does Danny Wood turn around to his agent and say, "Look, fuck this. I'm good as these. I'm old. I've had experience. I want to play in a team. I want to know where my future lies." If Klopp thinks, "Yep, go out on another year's loan, and then I'll fuck off Mignolet, and you'll be my number 1 or 2, you and Karius," will that appeal to him?
You got to remember, keepers are a different breed to players. Even if he does stay at Liverpool, the odds would be he'd be sitting on the bench anyway. So the chance to go prove himself at a Premier League club would only open doors from, and if he's 23 at the minute, 23, 24. So he still has minimum 10 years of a career ahead of him, probably 12.
Yeah. For me, it's a no-brainer for the player and both Liverpool to send him out another loan at Huddersfield. You can come back. You look at what Chelsea did with Courtois on those loan loan spells at Atletico, and then he comes back and they say, "Check, okay, so your time is done."
Keeps his options open, doesn't it? But if he just leaves, that's it. He's not playing Liverpool.
Exactly.
I'm just playing devil's advocate.
Yeah, it's fair one. We've got 3 good keepers. So it is. 2.5 good keepers.
Exactly. 75% is it? Moving on. Moving onwards, anyways, folks. So we're sat here again. It's the end of August. We're all the mid-season, we're all pre-season done. We're transfer windowed out of it. We're all gagging for a bit of football again. What are your expectations for the season ahead? What are we going to do? Is this going to be our year? Or are we going to go a long cup run, or are we just going to have another disaster and cry into our points again? Matt, how do you see the next season shaping up?
We're fucking winning the league. That's what we're going to do.
I like your
balls
style.
out. We're going for it.
Yeah.
Fuck it. We're challenging until at least Feb. Listen, I'm going off. If we make Van Dijk, Keita, a left back, I don't even know very many left backs, so whoever fucking Klopp wants. If we make them 3 and a couple of little bonuses.
Little exclusive for you. Cresswell's dad thinks his son is joining Liverpool. That's it, carry on. I'm not going to say no more.
Allegedly.
Allegedly. No, that's what I said, Cresswell's dad, didn't it?
And I'm saying allegedly.
All right. I didn't say anything else. I said Cresswell's dad. Sitting in the pub.
Go on, Matt. So we're on
the mate of a mate.
We're on the victory parade. Are we doing the lap of Liverpool on the bus stop?
If we get Cresswell, we're winning the fucking league. Now, if we get them 3, we're challenging until late in the season. That's what I think. That's what we get out the group stages and we challenge until April time. As long as we're in with a shout, then anything can happen. But that's what, as long as we haven't got them fucking another bad injury season like we seem to have. and a few more signings, and the key 3 ones, we're going for it. Balls out. I don't give a fuck. We're going for the league.
Like your style, mate. Craig, are you optimistic?
Yeah, I couldn't give a fuck about the Champions League, if I'm being honest. We could go get out of the group stages. I don't care after that, as long as you don't embarrass yourself. I want the league, nothing else but the league. That's number one priority for me. I want it more than anything else. Yeah, it'd be great to make a run in the Champions League, but I'd rather put my eggs in the league basket, because that, well, straight away then you're in the Champions League the following year anyway, so it's got to be the league. We want the damn league. Like, it's that unicorn that we're all after. So yeah, it's the league, and we're gonna go for the league, and we're gonna win the league. So yeah, happy days.
Yeah,
cool. That's 2 in the party. Yeah. 2 in the party bus. Jay, are you going to keep the positive moods?
True. Nah. I think Klopp obviously loves a good European run. The players that he's bringing in, the team that he's got, the style that we play. When we play against the top 6, we look unbeatable. And I think the Champions League is going to be a lot of that. So I think we will be quite successful in the Champions League, especially if we get those players that we're after. I'd say we make at least quarterfinals or semi-finals of the Champions League, a real dark horse run. Klopp's good with Europe. The thing is, we can't compromise our league form. We cannot compromise, because then you go in back again 2 years or whatever else. So the key is getting the balance between maintaining, I think, first prize next season, getting the top 4 place, keeping the top 4 challenge, even trying for second or third if we have to. But consistently being in those positions, maintaining that position, and being able to play in the Champions League. Last time it was just an absolute fuck up where we went in the Champions League, we throw a name away in the group stages, and the league even got worse. So it's to strike a balance between playing those Champions League games, playing the cup games, and whatever else. I think we might even need to just sacrifice the League Cup or whatever it's called this year, but ensure that the top 4 place in the league is a priority, and we're able to stick to that. I think the next step from where we are now, for the next 3 or 4 years, obviously first prize would be to win the league, but the next 3 or 4 years, we've got to keep finishing consistently in the top 4, where it's not just a once-off. And next season we finish 6th, and we sort of just get out of the group stages. So first priority is top 4 in the league. Hopefully, obviously, in with a league challenge. It's always nice when it comes April and you're still in with a shout to be able to challenge the league. So that's my priority.
Cool. Grizz, how will we do next season? Are we meeting up again at Anfield on the party bus?
Look, I said at the start of last season, when everyone was saying 6th to 8th, that we're going to get top 4.
Fuck off. I said 3rd. Go back and listen. And anybody I know said 3rd, you fucking dreary bastard.
I didn't know you. I didn't know you then anyway. I didn't know you anyway. So yeah, so you don't care. But most people look like saying like 6th, 5th. Yeah, it was gloom. It was doom and gloom. Look, again, as Matt says, if we get the signings that Klopp wants, because that's what's important at the moment, and that will, I think there's such important signings. I'm not going to change my tune just because we haven't brought them in, and there's sort of the stories emanating. There may be issues with a couple of his first choices, right? But I'm not gonna be around the bush. They are that important, right? These signings and this summer. Because I truly believe, and I mean this. I'm not being a sort of a super fan here and saying, let's just say, yeah, we're gonna win the league. But we have got, if we get Van Dijk and Keita and a left back, right, a starting left back, I think we can challenge. I think we're as good as any team in our league to challenge. We will challenge. The rest after that, it is luck after that, as you guys have said. And a major injury here, a major injury there. I mean, look, it's fucking sod's law. We could go out on that pitch and sort of in that first game, Van Dijk, right, our captain, a leader, can break a leg. Shit happens. But on paper, if we get those first 3 signings on Klopp that Klopp wants, I think we can challenge for anyone.
Just say we're winning the fucking league, Grizz, will you? Jesus.
Yeah, come on. Just come out with it.
Realistically, we need a trophy. As a club, in my opinion...
Yeah, that's a fair shout.
It's time... In my opinion, as a club, LFC is all about trophies. Yes, we loved we were there last year in the final game. We loved all that top 4, hoo-ha party shorty, yeah. But listen, we want a trophy in our cabinet because that's what our club lives for. It's built on trophies. So a trophy and a challenge for the league and some amazing Champions League nights, which anything can happen, right? As Jimmy Traore proved, anyone can win a Champions League. That would be my ideal season for me. Not ideal, but that would be my realistic expectations.
I'm with Jay. I'm all for fucking them cups right off. FA Cup and League Cup. We've got enough good youngsters. I know what you're saying, mate. I understand. I know exactly where you're coming from. But they hinder us. It puts our Champions League and our league challenges in doubt going for them fucking cups. I want
the League Cup this year.
Matt, yeah. Jay, sorry. Guys, go through the last few league winners, right? Go through them and you will see they won a fucking League Cup or a FA Cup to start that mentality, that winning mentality. It means so much even to the youngsters or even to the seniors. When you actually win something, it changes the mentality, it breeds a winning mentality.
If we haven't got a chance at the league and we're still in the FA Cup, go for it. But from the early stages, the problem with Liverpool is we're fucking shite and we get injuries. So them teams that have won a cup and gone on to do something well, they haven't got 7 first teamers out like we always have. We need to fuck them off.
Well, we need to fix that in the summer then.
Exactly. I'm all for it. But we always talk about how our under-21s and the under-23s are boss. Give them the fucking cups for the first few rounds. Let them see how they get on, and then you can see who's up for the fight then as well if they do want to make it to the first team. But you just getting that Wednesday off to a Firmino who's sprinting around up front. Getting that Wednesday off doesn't half make a difference. And we noticed it this year in January. We had the same people playing all the games. Come January, we were just dead. We were fucked. And we don't like to admit it, but we stumbled over that line. A few injuries came back, but we stumbled there. I want to fuck them off. Concentrate on Champions League and the league. And then you got the FA Cup and the League Cup for your youth players until the later stages. And we see, if we're out the Champions League, fine. You move that attention to the FA Cup. But first and foremost is League and Champions League.
Yeah, for me, really, it's balls out completely. I want to win the league. I want it so bad. It's been far, far, far too long. That's the pinnacle of I would I would just throw the rest of the cups away. As the Champions League, as good as it is, if I meant winning the league, I would just throw the whole lot of them away. But sure, look, we'll have a lot of fun. One thing I want to do, Anna, is make sure that we get to a cup final down in Anfield South, so we can all call around to Grizz's for some curry, and we'll all have a big house party there.
Yeah,
listen, I'm calling racism.
Okay.
We love you, buddy.
Well, from the sounds of the pod the other night, we won't be getting any fucking crisps in Grizz's house anyway.
No, we'll have to bring our own.
You're getting crisps, but you ain't getting those. What you mentioned, I can't even remember them. I've not heard of any of them. I don't know what they were called. I can't even remember.
Fucking potatoes or whatever. Shite.
God knows, Matt, what they were talking about. Honest to God.
I'm glad I wasn't on, mate. Glad I wasn't on.
It was definitely one of the pods that had an Irish and a huge Irish theme to it.
I've got plenty of custard creams for you guys, so most welcome.
I'll settle with that. Right, we're on to the last question now. We'll have a bit of fun with this one. I'm kind of pretty much, this is a case of just really laughing at ourselves, and we've talked a lot about transfers here so far. Just want to ask you guys, what's the worst mistake we've made in the transfer market? Because my God, we've had some mayors, and we've had some mayors over the year. Grizz, what's your worst? What's one that really makes you scream and pull your hair out?
Oh, there's a few, hence why I'm bald now. The worst one was, for me, are we talking about value for money, or are we talking about just shit player?
You can choose, really. I thought of it just more the shit player.
What was he
approach.
doing? Just a shit player. Like, how did he reach Liverpool, yeah?
Yeah, we'll go with that.
How did he represent Liverpool?
Do you not know the presenting rule, Jonathan? No, you never go to Grizz first for these type of questions.
I've just realised I made a cardinal mistake.
Go to Jay first. I'm thinking I'm going to nick a few answers.
We'll give Grizz a bit of time to do some homework and copy everyone else's answer here now. So Jay,
thank you very much.
Jay, mate, I know you've done loads of research here. What's your worst? And you can take it either way. It can be worst players in what the hell is that guy doing there? Our worst mistake that we looked at that player. If only we'd bought the X player, we would have gone on to win this.
There's been a lot of players that have been the worst player, but I think the one for me that I just find an absolute laugh is Iago fucking Aspas. It's if there was a Ballon d'Or for pre-season, he would have won that. In pre-season, that first pre-season we signed him, he was doing the flicks, he was doing the goals. We said, I looked at him like, we got a player here in the box. He had every single touch. When it came to the start of the season, the only thing he did is he sat top right on the substitutes bench, and the only time he came on was to fuck up a corner.
He clearly didn't. He clearly didn't practice any corners in pre-season animals, did he?
Yeah. No, so one that just stands up for me recently is just Iago Aspas, and then he goes, and that's one of those signings, or he's one of those signings where at the time on the Moneyball and the stats model, he was a perfect signing in terms of when he was playing at Celta Vigo, they looked at his stats and they said if he played with better players and in a good team, he's going to get combined 18 assists and goals for the season, and that threw their stats to complete shit that season.
Yeah, it's hard to argue with that. We paid a decent.
I think that's harsh, man. Well, go on, carry on. It's not my turn.
Grizz, if you had your homework done, you could have made a comment here now. But I'm going to go on. I'm going to go on to someone else who I know definitely has some homework on. The gaffer, Craig. What's your worst? What do you think is what's the worst mistake we've made?
This is like one of the hardest questions I think I've ever been asked on a podcast.
I do set the bars high, don't I?
I've got two.
It's not as easy as you think.
I've got two, and for different reasons. So the first one I'm going to start with is Paul Konchesky, because the knowing that Paul Konchesky played for Liverpool Football Club it's
embarrassing.
It haunts me. It really does haunt me. But another one, and for different reasons, is Balotelli, and it's not really for the. Well, he did improve himself as a player, but again, it's a fucking embarrassment of coming out and saying I've no interest in signing Mario Balotelli. We're not signing Mario Balotelli, and we end up with Mario Balotelli. Like that to me is, and again, the club just being made a mockery of. But look, you could go on here forever. We've made a lot. I mean, Hosemi, Nunez, you could go on forever, but I'm not going to try and rob some of the lads' answers. So for me, Balotelli and Paul Konchesky.
Yeah, it's hard to disagree with any of those players. Like Konchesky, that game against Arsenal springs to mind straight away, where you just realize, how are you even a professional footballer? Never mind wearing the red of Liverpool. It's for me that one sums up everything that's wrong.
There's that picture of the Hodgson era, where he got his transfers in, and they're all standing there, and it's just
there was a really good winger as well on that photograph as well, wasn't there?
Oh, he's a fantastic winger,
Number 10,
please.
I've touched a nerve. No, we probably woke you up a bit there with that sly dig from the quiz. If anyone hasn't listened to
the end.
But I was just like to say, if anyone hasn't listened to the quiz yet and you want to laugh, just check out both quizzes. There's two of them out there. They're on our Podbean or on our YouTube channel. They are a great laugh. But Matt, just to somber the mood a bit more, who's your worst?
No, I can't, mate. Well, I'm going slightly different. The worst mistake we've made in the transfer window is not signing anyone. No, we're going to fight tonight, mate. Is keeping Lucas too long. No, it's not signing. ouch. Not signing anyone. 13-14 January. That was our biggest mistake ever. We were close to Mkhitaryan, and their fucking CEO, whatever, delayed it. We were looking at a few others. Even if we just needed that little bit extra up front, or even like an attacker midfielder, and I think we could have coped with the Hendo red card. So that was our biggest mistake. We could have won the league that year if we signed someone.
Yeah, good call. God, depressing times really, don't when you think about it. Grizz, has Google been good to you?
Yeah, no. I didn't need.
He sounds like he's been pleasuring himself there in the background.
What are you doing?
I'm just rubbing my head, thinking.
You got that Nippy advert on?
Yes, it's Millie.
Millie's taking his top off.
I rub my bald head and I'm thinking, and it's come through to me now. Basically, the biggest mistake, and it's quite simple actually, and you'll all guys agree with me when you remember. Basically, it was under in the Julia era when we had the chance of signing Ronaldo, and we opted for Latalak and Cinema Pongo as a duo instead of Cristiano Ronaldo. We opted for the theory of buying two of the best French youngsters apparently out there. So Latalak and Cinema Pongo were bought instead of Cristiano Ronaldo.
Pongo did a job though against Olympiacos, didn't he?
Well, you know, if we're going to look at individuals, sort of just, you know, even Nunes done a job or something. Do you know what I mean? I'm sure Konchesky putting a cross, you know, in his lifetime. Do you know what I mean?
But that never happened.
He didn't, mate. No.
Overall, Latalak and Pongo instead of Cristiano Ronaldo will forever haunt us. And also, when we had the option of purchasing Anelka after the loan period. And we didn't go ahead with it. I think that was absolutely
embarrassing. We bought the youth, didn't we?
And do you know what we done instead?
That unnamed.
Do you know what we done instead? I don't even want to name him, Matt. You know, you've been naming Moreno, so you're just as bad. You've just named Alhaji Diouf now as well. So I didn't want to actually name him, but we actually bought that cunt instead of Nicholas Anelka, which was
nice lad.
Which was absolutely a travesty. Absolute travesty that was. So those are my two shouts.
That never made any sense to me at all, Grizz. You know that not signing an Anelka business. That made no sense.
I couldn't work it out for the life of me.
He had a great loan, didn't he?
He did.
He wanted us. We wanted him. You know, the fee wasn't a problem. Nothing was an issue. And then I don't know. I don't know what happened. I don't recall what happened. I wasn't at ITK back then, so I don't know what happened behind.
He was still at ITK college.
Doing his apprenticeship.
Yeah, I was doing my apprenticeship, you know, with my fellow Indy Kalia on the side and the left of me. We used to be exchanging notes. But now, I don't know what happened then. I really don't know. That was absolutely baffling what happened. We didn't get Anelka. With my favourite player as well. I really liked Anelka.
Yeah, that was a strange one. I'm going to throw one in, and it's from a similar era. And it's a slight bit of my Irish bias as well here, but Julia under the around the 2000s, we had the chance to sign Damien Duff.
Damien Duff.
We monitored the shit out of him for years. Too scabby to put in a bid, and then Chelsea bought him just at the start of the Abramovich area, and he turned out to be an absolute superstar for him. I've no doubt, we signed him. We would have cracked that whole hoodoo. We would have won the league, and we could be in a totally different place. He was that missing bit of spark, bit of creativity.
I tell you guys, I think that's a brilliant shout, and I think since then, Damien Duff. I exactly remember what you're talking about. Damien Duff would have, for me, won us the league. That's how vital it is we get Virgil van Dijk. I think we get Virgil van Dijk, and it's of that stature. That is an absolute potential league winner for us there.
Yeah, indeed. So you look back at that time, and you look at the Rafa couple of seasons there as well, and even 13-14, where in hindsight we were 1/2 signings away from really, really pushing on and winning the league. So let's hope we don't make the same mistake. So I'm gonna wrap it up here, folks. I think we've spurned enough rubbish there for a year. We're just going to leave on a positive note. Matt is arranging a whip around for Mbappe. And we're in the superstar at Anfield, and this is our year. I think everyone agrees with that. So I'd just like to thank you all. Thank Matt, Grizz, Jay, and Craig for coming on, and we'll leave it there. Up the Reds.